back to another fun-filled episode of my so-called Xennial life. In case you might be able to hear, my cat is scratching and meowing like a good little pussy should. I'm drinking my coffee today. I guess might be snowing later, and having to deal with a Karen on eBay. You know, Karen is one of those people, like women who overprivileged white women. She's really laying it in on me about an item. Granted, I understand, but I think she's being a little bit too bitchy over it. But that's my burden. So I'm trying to release my frustrations of dealing with this bitch. And I thought, what better way of doing something than talking about, on this episode, Beanie Babies, or a cat meowing. I did watch the documentary on, it was called Beanie Mania, or Beanie Mania, or something like that. I highly recommend it. You really do learn a lot about this sort of shadiness of the Beanie Baby trade. I do remember them supposedly being worth quite a lot. And now majority of that stuff is worth shit nowadays. So I want to get my handy dandy phone out so I can tell you some basic trivial information for all those people who might want to know. Beanie Babies are stuffed toys, various animals, from bears to elephants, created by a man named Ty Warner. Now, he did create a toy company back in 1986, but the Beanie Babies didn't come out until about 1993, and lasted. You can still buy new ones today, but the original Beanie Baby mania of the 90s kind of died out about 1990-2000. The decline of Beanie Babies I do remember because they were way overhyped. You bought these things and you were going to be a millionaire. My mother and I and my sisters, we did get into that mindset too. Some of them were very hard to find. Not all of them, but some of them were very hard to find, I do remember. And I just remembered the hysteria of it on the news and other people talking about it. We all had to collect them, and we did collect a few. The big one I remember coming out was in 1996 from McDonald's, known as Teeny Beanie Babies. Here's a commercial for it.
They're at McDonald's.
Baby!
Teeny Beanie Babies. You can collect them all. 4 classic sets, plus 2 beanies that are a total surprise.
Oh, baby!
In each Happy Meal, there's one cool teeny beanie.
Baby! Did somebody say McDonald's?
So most of the stuff I collected were actually from McDonald's. I did catch a few of the other Beanie Babies. I did like Teddy. I like bears. I still like bears. And I don't remember if they had dinosaurs, because I'm pretty sure I would have collected all the dinosaurs possible, but I also had a big thing for bears. With Teeny Beanie Babies, I do remember being on the assumption that we were not going to get these little Beanie Babies. They were like this big, and they were in a package for usually your Happy Meal, and we were under the impression that we had to go to several McDonald's to get some. I don't remember having issues getting Teeny Beanie Babies, in Rhode Island anyway, and I'm sure in some places it was incredibly difficult because there were people who were just going freaking nuts for these Beanie Babies. But I do remember having no problem, and I think I eventually had a collection myself of 7 or 8 Teeny Beanie Babies. I do remember the Beanie Baby bust, which was a good thing because it was getting downright ridiculous. There's video clips and articles about the incident in Atlanta where a truck of Beanie Babies fell onto the highway and people were like ready to kill themselves trying to get these stupid ass Beanie Babies. I don't know if I think that was part where people were getting to a point it was like, this is just ridiculous. And the incident where I do vaguely remember that the Beanie Babies were going to be discontinued and then they weren't. I don't know if that was the ultimate thing that led to the decline, but I remember it being before that because it was just getting ridiculous. It was like, what was going on with us in the 80s, 90s, and early 2000s, and somewhat today, where people just go freaking cuckoo for toys. Hey, I like toys. I still like toys and all that shit. But buying a Tickle Me Elmo or a Furby and then selling these things for like $500 a parent can get their little whiny brat a Tickle Me Elmo because that's all they want is a Tickle Me Elmo, and people spent hundreds and hundreds and thousands of dollars and on these cute but not very they were cute but they weren't valuable. They're not made of freaking gold. And so I do remember people losing lots of money, especially when the bubble burst. And Beanie Babies by the year 2000, 2001 was dead. And like I said, I actually got rid of all my teeny Beanie Babies. One of the reasons being I kept them in the basement and they got discolored and molded, and they were pretty much useless anyway. I mean, I didn't have a connection with these. I remember I had I think it was a couple birds and stuff like that. But I do still have some Beanie Babies that I keep in this bag right here, and I'll show them to you. So here's one. Just to let you know they're all bears, because I just love bears. One thing that they're known for is that there was small little poems, and this one for Millennium was a brand new century has come to all, health and happiness to one and all. Bring on the fireworks and all the fun. Let's keep the party going till it's 2001, even though the date of birth was 1999. So, see, this one doesn't, you can see Ty. That's what it was, Ty Warner, who eventually went to jail for, no, he avoided jail time because he was probably rich, but he, like all rich people, they don't like to pay taxes, but oh my gosh, if you are a working class blue collar person and you cheat taxes for $20, the IRS will get on your ass and send you to jail, but friggin' billionaires can cheat the tax system left and right. So, 2 bears, both from 1999, and I do have a third bear in here. This one is a blue one. This one is named Sucker. Sometimes it's real hard to get these things open sometimes. Clubby 2, and he was born March 9th, 1999, close to my birthday, March 2nd. A proud club member named Clubby 2. My color is special, a purplish hue. Take me along to your favorite place. Carry me to the platinum case. So those are the only 3 Beanie Babies I have. There are newer ones you can get that are a little bit bigger. I think they released some new ones for like homeless charity for homeless kids and stuff like that. But these are the only ones I have. They are useless nowadays. There are some that are worth a few $100 or maybe a few $1,000, but most of them are not. There was one at the Goodwill store that I went to not long ago they were selling that for about $130. But there's no doubt that at one time somebody probably purchased it for a few $1,000s. That was the thing. Even the ones that might be very valuable, still valuable now, like for a few $100s or maybe a few thousand, probably during the heyday was like a lot more. I do feel bad for people who bought these under the pretenses of making a ton of money, but not to sound too critical, but it does seem like to be the American way. We are always trying to find ways of getting a quick buck because most people work at jobs where they don't get benefits and they get lousy pay despite having a lot of education and working there for years and years of experience. But I don't want to get too political on how corporations just like to screw everybody over. And these Beanie Babies were an example. That Ty Warner, I don't think, from what I understand, wasn't manipulating the price market, but eventually started taking advantage of it to sell more of these. Now, if you have these nowadays and you like them because they are cute, like I said, I like bears, but these are just probably worth a couple bucks. They're not worth anything, but like I said, I like bears. So like, subscribe, share, and recommend this to your friends. I don't mind not getting a lot of views. I like more comments. I like interacting with people. That's the type of person. If my videos got only like 30 views, but I got like 15 comments and interacting with 15 people, I would be ecstatic. It's not about views. I just like interacting with people. So feel free and share. Anyway, have a great rest of the January and be on the lookout for a new episode in the future. Thank you.